The shadow was absolute, a brief, terrifying eclipse over the dandelion patch. Pip squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable squish. He didn't want to be a smudge, he wanted to be a chick. But the giant pink mountain didn't squish. Instead, the enormous gray foot landed with a wet, squishy thwoomph, just centimeters from the last bright yellow petal of his dandelion shelter. A hot, humid gust of air, smelling strongly of old vegetables and dirt, blasted over him. Pip tentatively opened one eye. The foot had vanished, replaced by the pink, hairy wall of the creature's leg. Then the massive head came into view. It was a pig, a mother sow named Penelope, whose snout was currently vacuuming up dandelions like a furry pink street sweeper. Penelope was not malicious, she was simply huge and completely oblivious to the small yellow speck trembling near her hoof. She inhaled the air with a mighty snuffle that rattled the grass blades around Pip. This was not a safe place. Pip realized he had to use the monster's own activity as cover. As Penelope lifted her head to chew with an audible munch, 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 Pip made his move. He dashed out from under the shadow, weaving between the great, knobby toes of her front foot. He didn't stop running until he hit a new terrain, a slick, brown expanse. Splat! He had run directly into the Mud Puddle of Dread. This wasn't just dirt. It was thick, viscous, chocolate pudding mud, ankle deep for a chick. Pip's legs, already thin, struggled to extract themselves from the sticky grip. Every step was a monumental effort, a slow-motion battle. Peep! 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 He cried, his frantic quick steps only succeeding in coating his beautiful yellow fluff in a heavy brown armor. He looked down and saw his reflection in the oily surface, a tiny, terrified, mud-caked creature that looked less like a chick and more like a lost walking potato. As he struggled, a deep voice rolled over the mud pit, smooth and slow as molasses. "Well, well, look what the breeze blew in." Pip looked up, heart hammering again. Perched on a high fence post overlooking the mud pit, preening a glossy black feather, was a crow. This was Corvus, known throughout the farm as a mischievous opportunist. He wasn't big like the pig, but he was fast, smart, and his eyes, small black beads of polished obsidian, seemed to miss nothing. "A walking snack covered in seasoning," Corvus chuckled, tilting his head. "Are you lost, little golden dumpling? Lost and slow?" Pip tried to hurry, paddling his little legs, but the mud made speed impossible. I need my mama," he squeaked, his frantic voice cracking with the effort. "Mama shmama," Corvus mocked, gliding down from the fence post to land delicately on the edge of the mud. He hopped closer, his beak opening slightly, revealing a pink tongue. The snick-snick of his claws on the wooden edge was a terrifying countdown. Corvus knew the chick couldn't fly. He just had to wait for Pip to exhaust himself. Pip looked around desperately. The mud was his prison. He could see his mother, Henrietta, nowhere. But then his eye caught something, a thin, silvery thread of water slowly trickling into the mud from a rusty, leaky pipe at the fence line. It was an idea born of pure muddy panic. Instead of fighting the mud, Pip leaned into it. He pushed with all his might, not forward, but sideways, toward the shallow stream of running water. He rolled, half swam, half flailed his way to the leak. He reached the pipe and dipped his head under the cool, clear trickle. Then he shook. He shook his whole body violently, throwing off a spray of muddy water that hit Corvus full in the face. "Caw, ugh, my beautiful plumage," Corvus squawked, momentarily blinded and disgusted by the muddy assault. He stumbled back, flapping his wings in outrage. This was Pip's chance. The area near the pipe was drier, the ground packed hard by the fence line. He scrambled up the bank and shot off like a yellow cannonball, leaving the sputtering, offended Corvus behind him. He ran until he reached a dense, towering wall of hay bales, the Hay Bale Fortress. He slipped into the narrow, sweet-smelling passage between two enormous stacks of golden straw. He was exhausted, shivering from the cold mud now drying on his fluff, but safe. He collapsed, burrowing into the loose straw. It smelled warm, like sunshine in forgotten summer. He could hear the sounds of the farm again, muffled and distant. Thwack! A sharp noise echoed from the top of the hay bales. A tiny shadow, sharp and quick, flitted across the straw near Pip's head. Pip froze, holding his breath, listening. Then, a sound that made his blood run cold, a slow, deliberate hiss. A pair of bright emerald eyes, slit and predatory, appeared in the darkness just above him, staring down the narrow gap between the bales. A long, pink tongue flickered out, testing the air.